Hello everyone, I'm Leslie Cornwell, Certified Nurse Midwife with Empowering Midwifery Education. This section has to do with branding basics. Legal disclaimer we put at the beginning of all of our presentations. This information is for general and educational use only, not intended to substitute for professional, clinical, or legal advice. We strive to keep our information as accurate and timely as possible, but make no promises and guarantees. It fits your local, unique situation. Course objectives, the students will be able to verbalize exactly what is branding, what is creating a brand, what is the branding process, and what are the 5 key elements of branding. The students will be able to verbalize the 3 essential elements to have a successful brand, how to build a brand, and what are the steps to get an identity and a reputation with your brand. So why is this topic important? To attract and retain loyal customers, stakeholders, clients, people to your team, you have to have a certain branding, quality, personality of your business. It helps the customers, it helps the clients to determine what is your business about, have confidence in the services, the products you're providing. They'll be able to remember your business easier, whether it's a branding logo, color scheme, slogan, the feel, the energy, the emotions that are released when they see your business. So go to the basics. What exactly is a brand? Brand is a marketing concept that helps people identify with a particular company, product, or an individual. It's an outlook, it's an image, it's a identity, a slogan, a design. It's all the pieces that come together with your marketing campaigns to create this feel, this style, this mission, reputation of who you are and what you bring to the community. It's a process of taking and looking at the market and having them have an outlook of your image, of your reputation, and how are you different than your competitors? If there's 5 midwife practices and they're all doing home births, how do you stand out from the rest? Your branding, your service line, your personality comes out with the branding, and that's what makes people choose you over someone else. The branding may be you as an individual, the branding may be the company itself and the team you put together. It may be a specific service line. It just depends on your specific business, but it comes down to an image, a color scheme, a branding campaign. What does the consumer, the client, think when they see your logo, when they see your company come up on a screen, they drive by your building, they walk in the door? What are you giving them the feelings of? It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. Marketing campaigns, branding campaigns, they take time. They take months and years. And the longer you've been around, the more that brand is ingrained. So we don't encourage you to switch color schemes a lot. We don't encourage you to switch logos a lot. It's really important to have consistent branding, mission, style, feel. You don't want to be very whimsical and then serious and then be laid back and then all of a sudden be silly. You want to have a consistent feel every time they see your flyers, your brochures, your social media. They walk through the door, they see a billboard, anything that is out there giving a reputation to your company. You want it to have a consistent feel and purpose to it. So 5 key branding elements. The first one is the brand position. This one has to do, what does your business, your organization stand for? What makes it unique? What are your values? What products do you offer? How do you stand out from your competition? What makes you unique and different? Maybe you're the only nurse midwife and there's a lot of certified professional midwives. Maybe you're the only birth center and there's lots of home birth practices. Maybe you are the only one that's in network with Blue Cross Blue Shield and everybody is out of network Blue Cross Blue Shield. What is it about your branding? You serve any walk of life, whether they can pay for their services or not, and that's different than the rest. Or you are about the highest caliber, quality, personalized care. What do you want to stand for and represent into the community? So a branding position, a branding promise, it has to do with the image. It's similar to a mission and a vision, but it's what does your brand stand for? What do you want to come across as a promise to your customers, your employees, your referral arrangements you have? How do you want them to interact with you? How do you want them to view you? How do you want that reputation to evolve in time? What is the promise of the services and the quality of care and the reputation you're going to create in your community? So it has to have a personality, it has to have a feel to it. Depending on your products and services is going to reflect how you want that to be presented. The example I'll give is midwives and women's health care. You want to have an image of you're up to date on standards, you're safe, you're personalized, you're affordable, you fit all the boxes of what they're looking for their home birth, their birth center, their well woman care experience. So you don't want to have a super serious lawyer, accountant, legal kind of feel to it. You want to not be like every medical practice and labor and delivery unit and doctor's office. You want to be personalized. You want to be more feminine, softer colors. You want to express warm, fuzzy feelings that the women are having when they're looking for their option. Birth and weddings have a very intimate feel to them. So you want them to feel right. You want them to feel comforted, safe around you. They can talk to you about anything. They can call. You've got flexible schedule hours. You do home visits. You do visits at the clinic. You come to their bedside at home or in the birth center during labor support versus like the traditional hospital. You're coming to catch a baby. You want to give the brand that this is a home away from home. Your midwife is your friend, your advocate, your safe birth companion through that process. And so you want your branding to give that reputation. You want to think about key traits, single words, home-like, warm, safe, qualified. Like there's very key words people are going to be thinking when it comes to midwives and birth workers and community-based private practices. So what's the story of your brand? This is really important because you want to tell your story. You want to tell how this was created. Why did you want to make this practice? Where are you guys going? What was the history? What did it take to get here? The funding, the planning, the people you connected with, the stories you heard in the community that morphed what your practice, your services are all about. You want to be able to tell the testimonials. You want to reinforce the foundation once you get well established. Your history is the doors being opened, the births you've done in the community, the safe care, the amazing resources and advocacy that you've done, the empowerment, the reducing complications and risks, the increasing breastfeeding rate, the woman feeling like she can do anything after she has her baby. That's the brand, that's the reputation, that's the product and service line you want to promote with the community, and it'll just grow and grow on top of itself. It'll become more and more organic as time goes on because your clients, the referrals, the multiple birth experiences, the family with 3 sisters now getting care at your practice, the family is going to become your branding in time. Branding association has to do with specific parts of your brand. That's your color scheme, your logo, your font style, the imagery, the wording that's used, the attention to certain information, focuses, angles, position statements you're putting out to the community. That is your branding. So there's 3 essential elements of a successful brand. You need to be able to be consistent. This is important with marketing. This is important with branding. You need to have a clear image of who you are, where you are now, and where you want to go, because they're going to be reflected. If you want to have a team, you're not going to put in your branding everywhere, Leslie Cornwell Midwife Care, Leslie Cornwell. You're going to want to promote and brand the team, the company name, the trademark, because as you grow, they're going to say, I want Home Birth LLC care. I don't want a specific midwife care. And so that's one thing I see that's challenging with branding and reputation. A lot of midwives will be solo for a very, very long time. They don't create a business. They do sole proprietor. They do their own thing. They are the brand. And then they wonder why they have a really hard time bringing on a partner, because the community expects the history and the branding of them, not the team, not the company image, or they want to sell and retire. They're wondering why they can't get any money for the business, because the brand, the reputation is the person that's retiring. It's not the company. It's not the community. Has a reputation to an individual, and that's much more hard and vulnerable long term. So you want consistency. You want to know your colors, your logo, everything's interconnected, your mission, how people feel when they see your brochures, your flyers, your marketing campaigns, the people representing themselves during consults with your practice. Those are all the parts of your branding. How the phone intakes go, emails, phone conversations, your website, social media, your sign, your referral reputation with collaborating with hospitals and doctors in the area. How are you being branded, not just to the clients, but also to the medical community as well? So you want to be consistent, you want to know your vision statement, you want to really have it clearly written out, and it's where you want to go and you want it part of your branding. If you're a home birth practice and going to expand into a birth center, you're a women's health clinic and expand into a birth center, you have hospital privileges and you're going to create a birth center, there's certain things you really want to make sure from the beginning that your branding is set up so that it aligns with your vision statement. What are your core beliefs? What do you guys stand for? How is the branding reflecting the mission, the values, the vision of this company? Value based. You want to be consistent of all the wonderful things you offer and what they're paying for. So when they call, they have a clear understanding of they're getting midwifery model of care. What is midwifery model of care? They get a water birth, they get the birth center, they get a birth assistant, they get prolonged prenatal visits compared to the traditional medical system. They get home visits postpartum. They get breastfeeding support. They get so many wonderful resources under your practice. You need to overstate and not make any assumptions. Maybe you as a midwife know exactly what the midwifery model of care is, but many potential consumers, clients that are out there do not. So you need to make sure your branding, your website, your social media clearly states your services and what you're about, what you stand for, and how you approach care. Your position statement. What do you want to do? How do you want to change things? What are you all about? I want better birth outcomes in the community. I want women to feel empowered no matter their health status. I want to make safe outcomes. We've got the highest infant maternal mortality rate in the country, and I want to cut that in half by year 3 or 2025. Like, you have very clear position statements of what you want to create, how you want to create it, what you're going to do to make that happen. We're going to have team-based care with closely working a physician, a midwife, doula, childbirth education, hospital privileges for the birth center. Like, what are you going to do to make those things happen? Consistency has to do with, if you're going to say, well, I'm posting on social media twice a week, you got to do it the entire time. You can't just do every day for 2 weeks and then nothing for 2 months. And then it creates an image of, well, you're too busy and then you had some time and then you were too busy. Because when we give care, the image of how we are consistent with our branding and our marketing campaigns reflects on the care that we provide, whether it's intentional or not. And so we want to be slow and steady wins the race with marketing campaigns, with branding. having the same colors, not just switching from bold colors to bright colors to feminine colors. You want to have your logo and your color scheme figured out from day one. And maybe in 15, 5, 10 years, you completely decided you're adding or expanding and revisioning and rebranding. That's different, but you want to be very hesitant to rechange color schemes, logos, marketing campaigns, because it just confuses consumers. What is your brand? What are you about? They want to create trust and time that you're going to give them high quality care for what they're paying for. It's about the community. You want to target people that are your ideal clients. They share the similar visions, behavior, goal of who you want to serve. So you need to think about with your branding, how do I find those clients? How do I appeal to them? What am I going to put in my colors, my branding, my logo, my slogans, my information out to give that reputation and brand so that I attract like-minded workers and like-minded customers to my midwifery practice. You want to, as time goes on, the branding and the reputation is going to get built and it'll get harder to change and tweak. So when you're new when you're new out there, it's a blank slate. As time goes on, whether it's good or bad, your branding will be much harder to change with your company because it's the community, it's the history, it's the reputation that's already out there. You can switch your marketing campaigns, but if you have terrible reviews all over Google for the last 2 years of people saying you don't call them back, you're not giving great care, it doesn't matter what you do for your branding because that history is there and that's part of what the reputation to the community is being created. Versus you can have less and less marketing campaigns and branding demands in 3 to 5 years of opening your practice because the community is going to rave about you all the time. They're going to become your branding. They're going to ripple out your care philosophy, your mission, how you take care of them, how you treat them through the prenatal birth experience. They are going to become your branding for you in time. So content is really important. What do you want to do? You want to do advocacy and education. So expect your social media to have tons of free information, blog posts on your website, a YouTube channel. You go out to the community and you do career days. You go to nursing schools. You talk about midwifery in the birth center. You go to the hospital. You want to know what content you're going to be branding out there so people can trust you and know you're the expert and you're pushing out the philosophy of what's really important to you. Know your elevator speech really well. Know your slogan you want to have with your logo and what you stand for. So like McDonald's and Nike and Disney, they have long history of branding and reputation, and people around the world just see the double arches and know it's McDonald's. They see the swoosh sign and it's Nike. They see the black circle and the 2 ears for Mickey, and they have a whole feeling just from seeing that picture of what Disney has done, has created, going to their park, watching their movies, getting their products. You create a long history of branding as time goes on, and so you want to get a consistent theme of what information you're advocating for, what resources you're connecting people with, what referral programs and knowledge you're trying to get out to the community, advocating for better birth experiences. You want to be the place they can go to and know that you have reputable referrals and resources available for them. So how do you build a brand? So this is a tough question. It's interconnected to marketing campaigns, but as time goes on, it becomes more and more of an organic process. So in the beginning, when you're first starting out, you're doing your market analysis, you're doing your stages of your business planning, you are creating the brand. It's a blank slate. You're deciding who you want to serve, how you want to serve them, what image you want to have to the community, and then it takes time over and over and over again of repetition, exposure to the clients, of gently seeing your logo, gently seeing your videos, blog posts, your social media, your testimonial videos, whatever it is out, clients that you took care of that are walking down the street and get stopped and asked about their birth experience, they are your branding, they are your reputation. So it's a combination of things. Some of the things we can control, some of the things we can't control. So you want to be if you want to be known for respectful childbirth, you want to give lots of informed consent. You want to give choices. You want to really give that kind one-on-one attentive experience during prenatal care, birth, and postpartum. You want to focus on things that are easy and the low-hanging fruit customers, meaning the people that are more likely to choose you anyway. So when I talk about target marketing and branding, you want to go to more alternative friendly consumers because they're more likely to choose a midwife in an out-of-birth hospital birth experience. So people that are already choosing doulas, people that are already homeschooling, people that eat more organic and do a ton of research and look at all their healthcare options and are really wanting what's best for them and their child as far as being proactive and researching. People that do preconception counseling visits are awesome because they're already proactive, thinking about what they want their birth experience to be like and looking at all the options they have in the area. So you want your customers to speak out. You want to be open where people can easily call you and ask questions, and you're an advocate. Maybe they're not a good candidate for your practice, but I would get calls all the time about high-risk patients saying, okay, I'm supposed to be induced next week, I want some help. And we would help them. We would help get them to a great person to ask the right questions. We would help them kind of understand and translate what was being offered as options to them, because it creates a branding. You're here to help, whether you're a customer of our practice or not. We want you to have the best birth outcome possible. So that's part of your branding. You want to think about your focus, your personality. Are you very serious? Are you lighthearted? Are you comical? It makes a difference of what you're trying to sell. So I think in midwifery and what we do, you want to be personalized, home-like, feminine, woman's touch, and safe. You want to give, I'm professional, I know what I'm doing, I've got all my supplies, I'm very organized, I have time for you, I'm very knowledgeable when you ask me questions. There's very specific things of your branding that are going to put a reputation to the community of you've done your homework, you've done your research, you picked the best birth location, you've picked the best collaborating physicians and hospitals to work with in the community, you have a strong mission and vision, you put a strong staffing team together, you put strong marketing campaigns, you have a good process from the phone intake to consults to new OBs throughout pregnancy care, birth, postpartum, well, woman care. You have a very strong setup that your team can fall on, and that can be seen by the customers and the community alike. When you're choosing your name, you have to think carefully about it because it's going to have a ripple effect on your brand and your reputation. So if you pick something that's so complicated to say and no one can barely say it, it's very difficult for your branding to take off because they won't even, like, I can't remember her name, I can't remember what she's about, I can't even look her up to tell you about her. That makes it very difficult for the company to be successful. If you're using a word that maybe puts a certain feel in people, you're picking more of the Ina May and free birthing, and people may say, well, that's more renegade, quote unquote, or off the system of what I want. I'm looking for someone that's more balanced with the healthcare system and closely working with midwives. So you don't want to make any assumptions of what your business may or may not be interpreted by other people. So you have to think it's got to be simple to say, it's got to have not unintended meanings that you didn't want to come out. Simple, crisp, to the point, easy for people to say, easy for them to understand what you're about. For SEO, it's important with midwives and birth centers. Try to add those words in your business because it's going to get repeated a lot of places when people are recommending and referrals, and those are the words they're searching. They're searching midwife, they're searching birth center, they're searching home birth. So if you can tend to pick words within your business name that'll help to get clear communication in your services, what you're about. Maybe it's Grand Rapids Midwives, it's San Diego doulas, it's Miami Birth Center. Like you know the location, you know the birth center. Don't overcomplicate the name so people don't really understand what your service is, your brand, your reputation is all about. Your slogan, you should have right under the logo, what do you stand for? So like my private practice was Midwifery Matters, high quality preconception, high quality care from preconception to birth. So it was very clear you got lots of care. You got care outside of pregnancy, you got care during pregnancy. It was emphasizing this is safe, this is personalized. So you want to get a good slogan that you can repeat easily, people can repeat easily, you can put it all over your marketing materials. You want a tagline that people can use over and over and over again with your business name. There's different ways to do it. You want to leverage the image, the reputation. What does your slogan stand for? An elevator speech is different. That's 1 to 3 minutes. Someone asks you, oh, what's your business about? You can talk to them, you can tell them. A slogan is something that's written over and over and over again with your logo, with your business, to say exactly what it is about in a sentence, short, sweet. So when you're looking at your branding, think of the color schemes. Think of, in the maternity care obstetrics, red gives anger, red gives feelings of blood and anxiety. And so you don't tend to see that. You tend to see pastels, you tend to see softer colors, you tend to see more neutral base, you tend to see there's a wide range. You could pick blues and greens and warm colors. Like, I always found it fascinating. There were birth centers that would have multiple colored theme room, and in the fall the warm colors were really popular, and then the cool colors in the summer were really popular. And with branding, you want to think about, what is the image, what are you giving, because you're not going to be changing based on season. So you want something that's more neutral. Maybe you're going to include a little bit of a lavender, a softer pink, and some blues together, so that you can complement the different tones and feels that can come from emotions. There's great books about the feelings of color, the psychology of color, and what people feel when they see dark tones and light tones and more neutral primary colors. You want your colors and your image and your style and how you utilize it is going to affect your reputation to the community. So don't overcomplicate it. Tend to pick 2 to 4 colors. Make them consistent, make them slightly different, that you can use them in many different themes and settings. You want to look at the font that you're using for your logo. 1 to 2 font styles. You don't want 20. You don't want it overcomplicated. You want to have a key, easy to read heading, and then maybe a softer cursive or some sort of italics for that lower slogan underneath of it. But don't overcomplicate your branding and your logos and your marketing campaigns that you're getting out there. So here's an example from my consulting company. It's crisp. In my mind, it's cyclical, it's ever encompassing. It's not sharp corners, it's smooth, it makes people feel flowing. And anytime you're trying to give more of a professional, high quality feel, you want crisp, you want to hire someone to give you a really quality logo. If you're picking something that it's abstracty, it's not very crisp and clean, it gives them a reputation. Well, if you can't invest in making your logo and your marketing campaigns as professional as possible, what is the care going to be like when I come see you? So you really want to think clearly, what is your symbol, what is your branding, what do you stand for, and what do you want them to have a feel when they see your logo, when they see the name of your business, they see your slogan and your color scheme. What is the impression that you want them to feel? So look and think about where you want your practice to go from day one and where it's going to go in time, because your branding and logo have to fit both. So if you're wanting to be a birth center in time, you don't want to put home birth practice in the name, because then you're going to have to rebrand everything when you open the birth center. So if you know you always want to be a home birth practice, then just put home birth into the name. If you know you always want to be a solo practitioner, you could use your name for the business. If you know you want to always grow a team, it's very difficult to use your name and then try to rebrand that you're an image of a team now, because you're going to have a lot of past history and community branding that's going to confuse people what you're really about. So you need to make steps to purposely identify your brand, your reputation, because there's people out there offering the products and services similar to you. How do you stand out from the rest of them? Are you in this image using a blue tie? Why do you have a blue tie? Are you in this image because you've got your hair done a little nicer than the rest of the people? You're professional, you're crisp, you stand out. You want to show differentially with your branding and reputation. What are your services about? How are you different than the competitors? And what is the feel? What is the quality of care that's going to be offered within your practice? Always talk about your mission, always talk about your vision, have that part of your branding, have the values, the core beliefs, what you guys stand for, part of your branding when you're going out there. Branding is a multifaceted part of logos, flyers, care, how you talk to your patients, the reputation, the service lines that you offer. It's a multifaceted component of how do people view you in the community. As soon as they see your logo, what are the feelings they have? As soon as they hear your name, what is the reputation that is already present, and what is the goals of where you want it to go? So you need to design your own unique value proposition. You're a salesperson. When they call, when they look at your website, when they're thinking about choosing you for care and to be a customer of your practice, you have to know what makes you stand out. You have to sell yourself. You have to learn quickly what are they looking for and pull out, because you can talk about 1,000 different things on the phone and on the website and in your consults, but you have to quickly narrow down to core themes of what are pain points. What are things people looking for? They had a bad birth experience last time. They really want a water birth. They want their insurance to pay for it. They want a midwife. They don't want a doctor. They want home visits. They want one-on-one personalized care during their birth experience. What are they looking for? And you can quickly hone in with rotating branding campaigns, marketing campaigns, to hit those points, to hit those drivers, to reinforce that you are the place they're looking for. So you want to create your own brand visual identity, and it's a combination of things. It's getting yourself out there. It's picking those colors, picking the logo, being consistent. If you're going to do a monthly newsletter to your past clients, always do a monthly newsletter. If you're going to have a physical location, keep the landscaping crisp and clean, keep the parking lot great, have open houses, have essential oils going so it just smells wonderful and it's just home-like and calming, and there's music going and it's relaxed. Like, what do you want them to feel when they are in the presence of your brand and the reputation you're creating? So increasing brand recognition, it comes with time. It's just over and over gently showing them your logo, showing them your care, showing them testimonials, having more and more births and patients you're taking care of. It's just a ripple effect that they will be your branding for you, and they will be telling the testimonials to the rooftop of how great your care is. So you really want to have them understand your mission so they can clearly tell their friends and family and be able to clearly communicate it as well. So you want to create awareness. You want to network with people. You want to hand out flyers. You want to get yourself open to, I'm an advocate for better birth options, choices, personalized care. I work closely with the healthcare system. We can give you the best of both worlds. You can do ultrasounds, labs, testing, but also get the birth you want. Like, what is your brand? What is your image? What is the reputation you are trying to create short-term and long-term to the community? So just as an overall summary, branding is extremely, extremely important. There's unintentional branding if you're not doing anything yourself. Like, I've talked to lots of midwives about this. They're like, well, I'm busy. I don't need to market. And I said, well, if you've had a few bad people out there and that's the only reviews you've had on Facebook, maybe you've served hundreds and hundreds of people, but there's only 2 reviews up there, and most people will complain when they're not happy. It's rare people will rave vocally when they've enjoyed the services. And so if you're not doing any branding, it's going to happen for you, whether it's good or bad, on its own. And I would personally rather have for my company branding on my terms, my mission, my value, them having a clear understanding of what I'm all about, not somebody that's out to the community. And that's what's added, like the testimonials, the clients are going to be in conjunction with your branding. You don't want them to be your only branding, because you can't control as much all the outcomes and all the experiences people are having. So successful branding is slow and consistent. It builds over time as you get your customer base, you get the reputation, you've done some awesome transfers to the hospital, you've worked closely with the medical schools and getting residents to come to the birth center, and now they're out graduating and collaborating with you. That's your branding, that's your reputation. It's this strong foundation, image, feeling, emotion, reputation you now have to the community over time.